G'day punters, welcome to the mailbag previewing Caulfield Guineas Day. Massive card at Caulfield. We're freshly aerated this morning by the sounds of it on Twitter. Scary behaviour, I thought. Mark Van Triet, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
On
Thanks
the show. Very astute judge, but also manager of a couple of superstars in Damien Oliver and Brenton Abdullah, the gun up there in Sydney. Where did it all start for you?
Started for me, I worked for the VRC for a number of years, for about 8-9 years. From there, I was more interested in the punting side of things, so I left there, did my own thing for a little bit, got a job for Lee Friedman doing the form for him when Lee was based down at Markdale, the Mummified days, which they were
Big days.
pretty good days. It was a handy job to have, actually. And then it was during that period where Lee said Damien might have been looking for a new manager. So I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to do it or not, but I gave it a go, and it's been 12 years later, I'm still doing it, and I've had Brenton for 10 years as well. So
Must be fascinating dealing with some of the making pretty big decisions, yeah, for big riders in big races. Like, which way do they go? I imagine Damien especially has a fair few opportunities.
There's a lot of ups and downs, but yeah, there's a lot of pressure this time of the year. But this is a great time of year to be doing it.
Yep.
The hardest time of the year is the winter, when it's sort of, I think everyone loses a lot of interest.
Yeah.
But you've got to be on your toes this time of year, and there's a lot of jockeys in Melbourne at the moment, so it's pretty competitive, and it's very competitive in Sydney all year round. So
yeah, and I suppose one of the things that fascinates me a little bit is sometimes you might be on the right horse, but they can't get the weight and stuff like that.
That's right. So you have to.
You've got to be like 4 rides ahead, kind of thing.
You've got to, you've got to be looking ahead and have a good understanding of the horse and the conditions of the race that they're going to. And sometimes they can go into a race where there mightn't be a top rater, so you'll know that the weights will get raised. So you're taking a little bit of a punt, but you roll with it, and then hopefully it gets his weight, and away you go. So classic example was the Toorak Handicap. Princess Jenny, sort of, I think off the template she was sort of down near the bottom, but there wasn't a proper Group 1 handicap horse there, so the weights were raised, I think, 2 kilos, so which brought her up to 54.5. So otherwise he wouldn't have been riding there Saturday.
So we'll get to Princess Jenny later on. On the preview show today, guys, we're going to preview race 5, which is the Herbert Power, is it?
Yep.
The 2 Guineas.
Yep.
And the other races in between, and we'll finish off with the Everest slot race, the Schillaci,
fantastic.
Schillaci. All right, so we'll kick off with the Herbert Power, race number 5. Mark, the market looks a little bit like this. We've got Steel Prince for Ollie, $4 favourite. Prince of Iran, M. Walker, $8. Glory Days Willow, $8. Sully, 9s. The Chosen One, D. Lane, $9.50. Hangman, about the same, and Longer the rest. Thoughts here? I thought this race was really, really difficult to assess given how many internationals there are. I did make some notes. The average SP winning, the average SP for the last 4 years is $6.30.
Okay.
So the market seems to figure this race out despite I thought maybe with the influx of internationals there sort of might be a few odds here, but it doesn't seem that way. The average overall figure run by puntingform.com.au for the last 4 years has been 13.37, and the average figure, which I found fascinating, to the 600, 9.67, which is decent.
I actually think it'll be decent speed. There's a horse there called Harky, trained by John Hammond, OTI horse, Linda Meachon. Just looking at his replays, he hums along out in front, and I thought he'd make a bit of a staying test. He mightn't have the class, but he looks like a proper stayer.
Yep.
And he just, if he's ridden correctly in front, he could get them all off the bit and get him, catch me if you can tactics.
What do you make of the Chosen One? I was pretty impressed with his run at Moonee Valley.
I actually think it's ticking along pretty good and stepping up to a suitable trip, handicap conditions. So it's Like, I've got it right there.
Yeah, D-Lane Sticks.
And then, obviously, Damien's ride, Steel Prince, like, he's ticking over beautifully, that horse.
I think beautifully is probably underdoing it.
Yeah, he's
flying.
He's going to get the right run Saturday, drawn soft. He's going to be sitting in the first 3 or 4, I would have thought.
Glory days for Willow, a chance?
What is it, a 7-year-old mare, gets back, runs on. Yeah, I'm not sure where it gets to in the run.
The spikes are out this morning at Caulfield, so they might be running on.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's going well as well, but for me, I'm sort of looking closely at Steel Prince. I think it's the obvious one to beat, because it's just gonna, it's gonna get such a good run, and it is flying.
Yeah.
Like, it's just had a perfect preparation.
Which is because I lifted it in that lead-up race where it knocked over Surprise Baby. They've had the sort of freedom to give it the perfect preparation.
Yeah. And I'm probably going to have a little spec bet on that leader that I mentioned.
Yep. All right, race number 6, the Mountain Goat 1,000 Guineas. Flit favourite, Hugh Bowman, $2.30. Liar, $5.50 for M. Zara. Acting, $10. Willow gets on. Missile Mantra is ridden by D Lane, it's $9. Tenley, K McAvoy, blinkers back on 12s. Longer the rest. I thought this was a really, really good race to bet into. I am super keen to bet here. Would you like to go first, though?
Well, I think the obvious of it, Flit, was a hard watch if you were on it last start. I think the speed of the race is going to be interesting here. I mean, I would have thought the two Busselton fillies will protect one another out in front. So I don't think they'll go hard.
Willow's not going to cook this horse, is he?
I don't think so.
But he'll cuddle it as much as he can.
Yeah.
That's his like mantra.
And then, I mean, and its numbers have been really good. But Flit, I would have thought from a soft gate, up to the mile, if they go slow early, I would think that it should be out of position a little bit closer in the run. I don't want to be going against her. I can't. I'm in the corner.
I do.
I gathered that you're...
The average SP in the last 4 years of this race has been $9.85. The average overall figure is only an 11.65, which isn't huge. And the average speed to the 600, puntingform.com.au, is 5.25, which is decent, but it's not quick for this level of horse. No. What I found fascinating when I was diving through this race is Flit and Missile Mantra neither have broken benchmark, which is slow for this level as a rule, not even benchmark, all average benchmark to the 600 in their careers yet. So you'd expect that they're going to be given a faster tempo here. And I'm not saying they won't, they could both relish it, but they haven't seen it. The horse it has is Liar.
Yeah.
It's been just ticking along, sneaky sort of preparation, spot on for this. I think Liar is a great bet at $5.50. I think it's really good odds. A horse that's been taught to not jump and be in a race in Flit, there's no guarantee it's going to be dug up, and Hugh doesn't dig him up.
I don't think he'll have to dig it up. I'm just thinking if they just jump and get their positions, it'll just naturally lob in a spot closer, just because the tempo of it early. I'm with you on Liar. It was actually a nice run in that same race the other day. Actually, there's one there at odds that I thought, if it was not sure if it can win, but it can certainly place at good odds. That's Dan O'Sullivan's.
A fair to remember. Yeah. Scratch last week for this.
Yeah, I thought it was a sneaky.
I think Flit obviously deserves to be right in the market, but I just think at $2.80, given it's never broken benchmark to the 600, it's drawn 2 with you on. What's the rail doing by now too? What's the track pattern? If it is rails off, which is a chance of, it's another negative for the horse. I thought Missile Mantra, I think it will appreciate the good tempo, finally. It's yet to be suited this preparation. And it'd be very painful for me, it's back sensations last 2 starts. But I think it can be really strong late here, Missile Mantra. I'm happy to sort of suggest a good bet at Liar and get something out of Missile Mantra. That is the 1,000 Guineas punters. Race number 7, the Caulfield Stakes. Over 2,000 metres of Villiers from Sydney for the Sheik. $2.35. K McAvoy rides. Homesman. Benny Gladrap Mellon Sticks. $4 chance. Danceteria. Do you reckon that's the right way to say it?
I think so.
$8. Jamie Spencer. Galo Chop. D. Oliver. 12s. Dream Castle. Patrick Cosgrove. $13. Blackheart Bart. Offer 181. Betfair SP is now $21 here. Longer the rest. Humidor, who I think can win, is $27. What do you think of this race?
Like I said earlier off camera, it's got me beat just about this race. I found it very difficult. I'm not sure about Avilius at the price, and I think it's better with this clearly sting out of the ground, which I think that track Saturday should be fairly firm. Should be okay. Galio Chop won the race 2 years ago.
Yep, it did, and it was very good last start, I thought. It wasn't given a perfect ride by Ollie, but it went really well.
Yeah, and it maps well to sort of, I think it should be fairly much uncontested lead, I would have thought. And Matthew Williams, well, he couldn't get a rider for this horse. No one wanted to ride it last start, and I was actually one of those managers that was holding back for as long as possible, and in the end took it, and I was glad I did, because after it ran so good, everyone was trying to get on it, and Damie's retained the ride and heading towards the Cox Plate, and Matthew was always very strong that it would need that run, and then Saturday it'll bring it on third and be cherry rock the Cox Plate.
Yeah, I thought it paraded with good condition on it. Well, it will improve to mile, whatever that's worth.
So, look, I'm if I was betting into the race, I'd be betting around the Villiers just for the fact that he's not really a horse of mine. I think he's unders. Homesman's going to get a soft run on the speed, sort of behind the leader after doing plenty of work the other day. But the race could set up for the German horse, Danceteria. It sits off the speed and they're coming up the middle. It's high up in the markets in the Cox Plate. You'd expect it to be running well Saturday.
Do you worry much about last start SPs?
I do.
So what do you do with Gadding, right? One with a massive SP versus Mystic Journey, etc. And then it actually had a pretty short SP last start. I find that very, very tricky to decide on which one's more relevant.
I'm thinking it had its birthday when it won.
Yeah, same. But it did SP it's big odds versus what it SP the last start.
Where's it going to get to in the run?
Yeah, I don't love it here at all. I'm just an interesting sort of comment from someone who obviously knows what they're doing
and go forward. So
I thought I'm just always team Humidor, but I think maybe it needs 1 to 2 more, and then a really strong tempo.
It needs a strong tempo, yeah.
But it won't stop when it's right. I agree, Avilius seems too short for me. I can't get rid of any horse here except for Gadding and Blackheart Bart because they take up too much of the market, I think, for where they're at as horses. Both given their birthdays. Homesman was huge last start when not suited. I don't know about that camp though at the moment. I find them very, very, very hard to catch.
I'm with you.
And I've got no idea about the internationals. Drew will be doing a little article for the mailbag.com.au. Head to the website and you'll catch it all there. He'll be previewing some of the internationals to give us some chance of betting into these races, but at this stage I wouldn't be betting. Race number 8. Oh, they've finally gone up Ballarat for tomorrow prices. This is at 4:30 p.m. on a Thursday. Caulfield Race 8. Dallasan, the Caulfield Guineas over the mile. Race 8. Dallasan, Hugh Bowman on $3.20. Alligator Blood $4.80. Kubrick, J-Mac $8. Super Seth, M Zara 11s. Longer the rest. This is a deep race with a big tail. There should be strong speed here. What do you reckon?
There should be.
What does Hugh do from 18 blinkers on?
I think they've already said they're going to go forward. I don't see much point in going back from out there. You're going to be planted out the back and wide.
Yeah.
It's going to take a brave ride, but Huey's done it before.
Yeah. They've got the man to do the job, really.
Yeah. Look, he's gonna need luck slotting in somewhere, but I'm pretty sure they'll roll forward. for me, he's still the horse to beat. I think he's
Yeah.
a serious horse. So, you know.
He's the... Sometimes I like to say he's the most likely winner of the race, but is he a bet? And I think he deserves to be favourite, but I don't really want to touch him at the price.
Do the corporates take him on? He has to get out.
Yeah, I think he'll get out. I think most of the money that's on him would have been earlier on at bigger odds, and that, you know, he stoked if he got that ticket. But
so what's he going to come into? 16. So the outside, extreme outside. I think Huey won this race on press statement 14, from memory.
Yeah.
And came straight across, went straight to the front and controlled the race. Basically.
Yeah, like if you bet into the race and you're against it and it lobs like OSL, you'll be shitting yourself.
Mm.
But if he sits like 3 wide, tries to slot in, looks for a spot, nurses, I'll be pretty happy to be against it.
3 wide, gets 3 wide cover.
I still want to be against it. I think it can win, big time, but I just think there's a lot of horses here with a bit of upside. I really like the way Groundswell went about it last start. I think it will get forward. It has more natural speed.
Yeah.
I think it'll get in and it'll be good odds. And I think if like horses like Groundswell and Dalsan and a few more of them try and go forward, Kubrick's a star. Be suited by the good tempo if it's there. I thought the 2 bomb-proof horses here, and you can spec either one each way, was Super Seth.
I'm with you on it. I actually really like Super Seth.
And even
the
to
mile suits perfectly.
Yeah, and it was not suited the last 2 starts.
Yeah.
Last start badly not suited by the J car falling off. It's still got through the line beautifully to get an extra 200 metres. It's going to get a really soft run here. It just needs to get its fair share of luck when they straighten up.
It's drawn to get a soft run. Look, Anthony Friedman, got an amazing record in getting his horses to peak.
Yep.
On grand final day.
Yep.
I think it's right there.
I think, it's the one I'm keenest on in the race is Super Seth. I think Ollie will get a really nice run here on Skiddaw. Interested to see how it parades. It was outstanding last start for Mellon. He's going to get a great ride from 6. Vegas Night, maybe this will be the first time in its life at Metro level that it gets a decent steer.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It might not, but if it does, who knows what the horse is capable of when ridden well.
What do you make of Alligator Blood?
Blessed last start on an on-pace suited day and priced like it wasn't. It could well be, very hard to run on again and it'll be suited. But Pete loved this horse from the mounting yard too. So it was sort of, near its top.
Okay.
It can obviously win, but I don't want to be with it at the price. I think that Super Seth's the best betting proposition in the race by some way. It's double figure odds. It's got
the
an
best value. It's
SP
great
profile,
value.
it was really strong. It wasn't suited the last 2 starts. It looks like it'll get suited here. It's a beautiful sort of setup for Zara. Little patient sort of in the ruck ride that suits him. He doesn't have to make the play. He just has to sit behind.
Just watch it, let it all unfold in front of him.
I love the setup for Zara here. I'm Super Sething each way in race 8, the Caulfield Guineas. Race number 9, Mark, is the Toorak Handicap. My God, it's deep. Over the mile again. Age of Chivalry is favourite at $7. Princess Jenny is equal favourite at $7. Night's Watch will probably be $7 as well soon. It's $7.50, $8. Fierce Impact 10s, Waging War 10s, Widgie Turf 12s, Amphitrite 14s, Mahatmadeus 13s, Mellon gets on 11s. Longer the rest, my God.
Deep race. Historically, this is a swoopers race, or sort of those horses that sit sort of midfieldish off midfield and come up the middle.
Which you can actually very easily find if you head to puntingform.com.au or the Betfair Hub and have those
correct
those feature race reports on the group races. You can see what happened the last 4 years and get some sort of insights. Yeah. You're a punting form man. Well, I forgot to mention that. Shane kicked me in the ass.
Yes. Well, I read Shane's his reports, and I actually got that information from his reports.
Average winning SP $5.70 last 4 years here.
Look, I'm actually with Night's Watch here.
I was surprised not to see, or maybe disappointed not to see Damien on it.
pretty much committed to Princess Jenny. Got a good association with that mare, obviously. She's using this race this is a lead-up run to the Empire Rose on Derby Day. She is flying, obviously.
But she was given
given
one of the greatest rides of all time.
Right, yeah.
Like held, exploded off the Canberra at the Valley.
Yeah. So she's going to be there. It's interesting that she's only raced against her own sex. This is her first.
I can't believe the price she is.
Decent test, but the race shape probably. I think she'll get slot in 3 wide with cover.
Yep.
Which is good for her. She can build.
Yep.
She has got a turn of foot. But getting back to my top pick is Knight's Watch. I think this horse is flying.
I think it's airborne.
Yeah,
it was enormous at Flemington in the Caulfield Guineas. Enormous.
His trials were enormous. He was trialling seriously like a proper horse. Should have won first up Caulfield.
Beating Age of Chivalry.
Yeah, should have won, clearly. And then was big.
Huge.
In Maccabi Diva. And I think, did it finish in front of Kingswell Dream?
It closed as good or better than anything in the race.
Better than that. I think they finished
Kingswell
alongside.
Dream was ridden upside down that race, though.
Yeah, they finished alongside one of each other, and obviously we know what it's done. For me, it's going to get a great run. It sets up nice, and it's the one.
The average winning figure in this race for the last 4 years is 15.85 lengths above all average punting form benchmark. It's a big elite figure. And they average 9.5 to the 6.
Yeah.
So it sets up to run on. It just screamed, back me wherever I go next start. It's not Ollie, but it's J-Mac. Like, he's an elite operator. Ticks boxes. I think it'll go off and probably start favourite here. If it's on pace, Age of Chivalry will firm. And it gets a positive jockey change. And it brings the what's that race called? The Sir Rupert Clark is the traditional key sort of lead-up form for this race. And it was enormous in that, I thought. But it was suited. Amphitrite brings the best SP profile from that race.
Blinkers on,
J Car on. I think J Car on for Willow is actually positive for this horse. It's got more early tempo, or more early speed, I think, than is used. And it sort of loses 3 or 4 lengths for doing nothing. If she's a little bit positive here, it could lob in a further forward position.
I'm with you on that.
Like it was not suited at all last start. It brings the best SP from the Sir Rupert Clark. I think it's the one in the market that's the wrong price. But I am not penning just about any horse in this race. Like, they can all win. You can make it.
Look, it's going to come down to luck in a big field like this. It's,
Iconoclasm went off in the Sir Rupert Clark in the market, then it went off in the run. And like it could go either way from that performance.
I don't know, would have recovered from that.
By the Mountie O'Male guys, and you'll find out, I guess. But it's a great race. It's the best race on the card for mine.
Oh, it's a cracker. It's good.
Lucky last, punters, is race number 10. It is the Schillaci. Thank you, Mark. Schillaci Stakes over 1,100 metres. The winner goes straight into the Everest. Trekking, $2.60. Bonzo A loses Meech, gets Zara, $5. The Bostonian D Lane, $6.50. Baller Muscle, Craig Williams, $8.50. Longer the rest. And we'll just mention Rebel King, who's ridden by J Carr, booked by Pete Anthony, I believe. Pistol Pete's in Rebel King, and we'll be cheering it big time for him. What do you like here? So I thought the race, we talked about this before off air, or not on air, whatever we do, but it's a bit disappointing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not the strongest edition. I actually like Baller Muscle.
Slaughtered last start.
And it actually won this race last year after failing in the same race prior behind Bedora. Yeah. So I've got a bit of a theory on it. That horse doesn't like the lights at Moonee Valley.
Yeah, all being snick for 600 metres.
Yeah,
when you're a speed horse.
Yeah, that's right.
Probably maybe both.
Yeah, and look, your puntingform.com profiles, race feature reports suggest that, or tell you that in this particular race, regardless of what the track's doing, it is sort of dominated by on paces.
Yeah, because for the last 4 years, they've gone 4.3 to the 600. Above benchmark, but that's a benchmark for every horse that's ever run. 4.3 in this level of race is slow.
Yeah, and look, he's got a very high cruising speed, natural.
Yeah.
Loves Caulfield. I think he's good value at the moment. I think, it'd be worth having something on him for sure.
Do you worry that does Craig suit 100%? I think he suits because he doesn't. This horse will do it. This horse will do it if you let him do it.
It will suit because Craig has to be positive from there. So, and then what you've just touched on, he'll just do it anyway.
Yeah.
I think 100%.
What do you make of Booker? I thought there's been excuses for his first two performances. He was slow away first up. He provided outstanding.
I think
and he wasn't suited
definitely
again
can improve.
Up.
Back to Caulfield, 1100. Shouldn't be too far away, I wouldn't have thought.
But he keeps missing the start. She keeps missing the starts.
Yeah.
I agree. Look, back to away from the valley.
I think Caulfield, it's her track. So I'd be disappointed if she didn't run a race, pull out a good run.
What about Bonds away? Get Zara back to Caulfield.
Well, I mean, it's well found, but sort of touching on what I said earlier, this particular race suits those horses up, sort of on the speed, on top of the speed. It's going to be way out the back.
Yep.
It's going to be flashing, no doubt.
Yeah, and maybe stopping like it did for us the other day. All right, that's us. Anything else on the card you want to mention? Not me. You don't have to.
No.
Best bet on the card. Best bet. Number one bet.
Best bet. Jesus. You can go first, mate.
Okay, give me a second. I like Liar in the 1,000 Guineas, race 6, number 1 Liar for M. Zara and Freedman's. That's my best bet on the card.
Okay, race 3 for me. California Zimbal to beat Loving Gabby.
Ooh. Geez, Loving Gabby's continue to go off. Tab went up $4.
Which was overs.
For about 4 seconds.
Yeah.
4.20 maybe.
It's overs. She deserves to be favourite.
Yeah, but she did SP $8 doing what she did.
I just think, she'll be giving away a start to this filly. I think she's got a very good turn of foot.
I thought Lincoln Star was big odds in that race, but drawn 1 depends how the track plays, I guess.
Yeah.
Have you got a value bet for the punters? Maybe we'll do a joint one in the Caulfield Guineas number 5 Super Seth each way.
I think it's great each way bet.
And any lays? You might not be allowed to do that, are you?
I'll stay out of that.
Any lays for me? No, I can't think of any lays off the top of my head. That's us, guys. We've got Manningham Mail from Caulfield on Saturday, Cranbourne for Cranbourne Cup on Sunday, and we'll be at Randwick via Rob Scurry on Saturday. Poweredbypuntingform.com.au. If you're interested and having a little tickle as the racing heats up and the footy stops, I cannot tip hard enough. Just get yourself a little subscription. Start making your own notes. It's the best way to get started. Would you not agree?
100%.
It's an outstanding way to get yourself into the sport. And Mountain Goat Lager. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, bud.